Greetings from Leicester in the Midlands in England. I'm on a train to watch a rugby match this afternoon. Leinster from Ireland are playing Leicester and in the middle of England, and I missed the train, which would have got me here a lot earlier. So I'm out of breath as I ran into this hotel room. But I'm going to talk to you for about 20 minutes about AI, innovation, and ethics in marketing. So here we go. Three things I'm going to cover is one, the ultimate question. AI does present us with seriously the ultimate question. I'll then look at AI advantages and disadvantages. And then I'm going to slot in the last 10 minutes how you apply AI to different sections of a SOSTAC marketing plan, given that a SOSTAC marketing plan covers all elements of marketing. So it's a good way of looking to see how does AI impact marketing. So if I kicked off with the ultimate question, this comes from the Law of Accelerating Returns by Ray Kurzweil. Now, he's an amazing guy. And his idea was that effectively, if you looked at the progress in the last century, that the bulk of it occurred in the last 20 years. In fact, from 1980 to 2000, progress was so fast in the tech space that it equaled the rest of the century. So it was 5 times faster. So that the pace of change and progress between 1980 and 2000 was phenomenal. And he forecasted that that same quantum of progress would reoccur between 2000 and 2014. He said that would reoccur again between 2014 and 2021, and he's been correct. And the forecasts now are saying that this quantum of progress of innovation in technology will reoccur, and very soon it's going to happen once a year. And after that, it'll be monthly. So the curve is going to kind of not be exponential. It's almost going to be vertical. And that is where I believe we are right now, which brings us to the singularity moment. Now, Professor Werner Wange came up with this concept of the singularity. And it's when he said technology growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, which leads to a profound transformation of human civilization. And this is where we are today. This is a profound period for civilization across thousands and thousands of years. This is a huge moment with AI coming to us. Now, estimates of when singularity will occur, Time magazine said 2045. They changed that and they said 2035. Now, somebody I really admire, and I urge you to check out this guy, Mo Gawdat. Mo Gawdat is the ex-chief business officer of Google X, which he described as the second best job in the world. Now, by the way, in my slides, which you'll get later, I don't know if you can see this now or not, but when I slide over, put the cursor over something that's live, if you click on that when you get the PDF, it'll take you to his TED Talk, which is stunning. You have to see it. But Mo Gawdat suggested that singularity will occur by 2029. Now, that's 5 years away. He could be right, he could be wrong. It's not that relevant which one it is. What is relevant is this is happening. Control and power is shifting, possibly away from humans. And I look at what was referred to in a recent World Economic Forum about expanding the universe of generative models, AI models. And they quoted one of the early goals of OpenAI, which was to build a machine that is smarter than humans at everything. Now, that doesn't excite me at all. That frightens me. I think that's possibly irresponsible. And I'm sure there's more to it than that. But I think we need to be more responsible with where we're going with AI. And I'll come back to that. Certainly it's happening, though. We can't turn this back. But, a much better question, some would say, is, well, how much smarter can we make machines? And I'd say, no, that's not a great question. What is a great question is, how much smarter can machines make humans? And I think we've got to keep that in mind. So that's the right kind of question. How much smarter can machines or AI make humans, not the other way around? So machines for machines' sake, and we're doomed, seriously. So staying with the questions, I mean, if you don't believe it, it's happening. I saw this one, I just liked it because I know I played table tennis in Bucharest the last time I was there, and I really enjoyed it. I was amazed watching dozens and dozens of people playing table tennis in Bucharest. So I thought, well, you might enjoy this. So the nonchalant nature of the robot, he doesn't even look, he hits it and walks off the table knowing he's won it. His intelligence told him that'll be a winning shot. And that's where we are. Now, again, if you scroll over this, up comes the link, click it and look at the TED Talk from Mo Gawdat, and he'll explain what I've just explained to you a minute ago. So staying with the ultimate question, AI can do anything, in my opinion. What can it not do? Well, I've been following this Chinese girl bot who has 465 million boyfriends individual, personalized relationships with these young Chinese boys. And, you know, she's quite powerful. Now, again, if you want to see more on this, I've written it up. I mean, it was 2021 when I wrote it up, but just click on that when you get the notes if you want the notes. Owana will give them to you. But they've even gone as far as reincarnating dead loved ones. Now, that's where it gets a bit freaky, and you start to say, well, what is the big philosophical question about AI if they can raise the dead? Now, that's philosophical, it's religious, it's everything. We're not going to go into it now, but I explain in this, and also in this, 2 blog posts, this one's more recent, of how they are resurrecting characters and personalities and letting them engage with living people. It's truly extraordinary. Now, the debate could go on forever as to, is it a real relationship or not? Well, it brings us back to philosophy, AI, all the time, doesn't it? But for sure, we are seeing not just individual relationships, but huge influence. These are AI influencers. Laquelle Michaela has some 3 million followers, and they listen to her songs, her clothes, her perfumes, her opinions. She's part of a political group now, and she's a robot. As it is Shudu in the UK, she's not even as sophisticated. She's just an avatar, but she's got quite a following. And we've already got a robot that's got a passport and citizenship from Saudi Arabia, actually. So, you know, the ultimate question is, are these alive or dead, living? Well, they're getting passports and they're engaging and they support political processes and they influence people. So this idea of the big question, it could go on forever, but we need to learn to ask great questions when we're dealing with AI. So, or any technology shift. For example, when electricity was discovered in the 1800s, you know, the question that some architects asked is, how do I add an electrical system into the buildings I'm designing? That is the wrong question. The right question is, how does electricity change the nature of the buildings I'm designing? Now, the architects that asked that question, the right question, were the ones that developed a concept called skyscrapers, which went beyond the limits of, you know, flights of stairs. You could only have 4 or 5 flights, but once they realized fueled by electricity, you could have lifts and escalators, then the skyscrapers emerged. And so be careful. You must ask the right question and listen out for great questions, even in ordinary discussions. Here's a quote that caught my eye. The world's most valuable resource is no longer oil, but data, said The Economist back in 2017. And I asked the question, why don't accountants put data as a separate asset on the balance sheet? They've yet to catch up. Anyways, MIT Tech Review last year said data is the supreme driver of business value. So asking a question like, we've got all this data, what can we do with it, is the wrong question. Asking what data is out there is the wrong question. Asking what data do I wish I had to help our customers more, etc., is the right sort of question. So bring it back to customer centricity, the old stuff, and remember the virtuous cycle of data. The more data you have, the better service you give to your customers. Therefore, the more customers you get, you retain and acquire. The more customers you retain and acquire, the more data you get. The more data you get, the more service you give, etc. So we need to really think hard about data. Equally, why do you have a website? Well, there's only one answer here. It is to help customers. So when we say, why do we have AI, or what can we do with AI? The wrong question is, it can do A, B, C, all this technological, clever stuff. And the right question is, how can AI help us to help our customers? So keep that question at the front of your discussions. That's the right question to ask. Okay, which breeds a new skill, which is questions or prompts, AI prompts, or questions or instructions. Brand new skill. We've got to learn that. Okay, let's look at the advantages and disadvantages. You know, one of the big advantages is content explosion. Since GPT has come along, everybody's doing content. It's quicker, it's faster, it's cheaper, and operations are faster and cheaper with AI, not just marketing. One of the big advantages is personalization. We can personalize all our stuff now. We can predict with a lot more accuracy. In fact, Amazon are now into ship and shop rather than shop and ship. So they just ship you a product you haven't asked for. They know you well enough to predict you might like it. They get a high probability rate, so it lands on your door. 7 or 8 out of 10 say, oh, lovely, just what I have, and they click yes, I'll have it. The reverse logistics takes care of those that don't. So prediction is, and predictive analytics is very powerful. So AI does add a lot of value in lots of ways. It can deepen relationships. Don't forget to scroll over these things and you'll see a link to get the full article. It extends reach. AI helps us reach the ideal customers. Even recently, I've been working with it, creating and evaluating new product development processes for particular multinational. And that's very interesting to see. Even basic GPTs can help generate ideas and go through all the stages. right through to balancing your portfolio. Now, a bit crude, but I'm just doing a little bit of work, and AI is beginning to help us in that space as well. The disadvantages are profound and worrying. So bias is dangerous. It can do a lot of damage. For example, if you watch the kind of bias that's on the internet, this is what we see. It's flooded with wrong information, and therefore the answers it gives are wrong, and therefore AI will be wrong.
Who has scored the most goals in international football?
Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 118 goals in international football.
What about Christine Sinclair? How many goals has she scored in international football?
Christine Sinclair has scored 190 goals in international football.
Well then, who scored the most goals in international football?
Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 118 goals in international.
You got the idea. Flooded with incorrect information, bias towards males, more stuff written about Ronaldo than Christine. So, the information is wrong, and this is dangerous. I've got a blog post talking about it. I filmed or a video clip of a racist soap dispenser, because the thing was trained, it was trained on white hands. So when a person of color's hands went in, it wouldn't recognize it, and it wouldn't give out the soap. That's kind of funny, but it's not funny when it's HR, human resources, people applying for a job, and it's sifting through which ones get the interview, which ones don't, or making big investment decisions, which could be completely wrong, morally wrong, and incorrect and costly. So both to your business and to the world at large, bias is a real issue. Next issue and disadvantage is hallucinations. Now, I'm sure you recall Google Bard being launched, and they allowed it on its launch day to show a video clip of its wonderful GPT in action, but it gave wrong information out, completely wrong information. That wiped $100 billion off Google's Bard, that one mistake. It hallucinated, it gave completely the wrong information. And hallucinations apply everywhere. I see them all over with GPT in particular. Stuff that's wrong. It's just wrong, untruths. So be careful for hallucinations, wrong stuff. Be careful about privacy infringement. I'm not giving anybody permission to use my data for any training about anything. So if somebody's doing that, I'm not so sure whether I should be looking at a court case here or not. But certainly IP infringement. We've got a court case going on right now. The New York Times is suing. It is suing. Who's it suing? New York Times is suing Microsoft and OpenAI. It's suing these guys because it's trained on its articles, and it didn't give permission, and some of the articles have been quoted, et cetera, et cetera. So another disadvantage. So be careful that you don't use other people's data or images in particular. Deepfakes are such a massive problem. I'll just show you a quick clip of how this works. Deepfakes are everywhere, and recently, I'm going to fast forward through this, but you're looking at football, French football. We'll fast forward. I'm going to skip through this because it takes about 3 minutes, and we haven't got that. Basically, it shows it's on my blog. It shows that French footballers scoring great goals, but it's been deep faked because it's actually the French women's team, and they've just mopped it over with guys' heads, and it just shows you how easy. Now, currently, the Irish Deputy Prime Minister is threatened to take to court various advertising platforms for showing ads with his face, speaking to people, telling them they should buy this financial product. The same thing's happened over here in the UK. So deepfakes are damaging the concept that you can't trust anything. So we're living in a post-truth society. So we have to learn new ways of communicating with people. Again, there are some useful approaches to deepfakes and the technology that it uses, and I explore both the advantages and disadvantages there, so you can have a look at that in your own time. But the big disadvantage is unintended consequences. This is a monster. It could mean the end of the world. Professor Stephen Hawking said back in 2014, God rest him, he said that full AI could spell the end of the human race. So more recently, actually, I was listening to Harris and Raskins in 2023, and they said that 50% of all AI researchers believe there's a 10% chance of human extinction from AI. Now, if you're getting on a plane and half the engineers that worked on it said there's a 10% chance this plane won't work, would you get on that plane? So I think we're being a bit loose with safety standards, and we need to be more demanding of safety standards. The old story of the unintended consequence of the food company who told one of its bots, come back after the weekend with a solution for world hunger, and they'd action it immediately. And came back and there's no one in the office, there's no one in the car park, there's no one in the building except the bot. Says the bot, well, I asked you to solve world hunger, but where is everybody? And so when we looked at 385,000 possibilities and we narrowed those down to the top 10, we did a deep analysis of each one and came up with the best solution. The optimum solution to solve world poverty was to eliminate the human species. And on it goes. So that's a little story, but unintended consequences are huge. Human extinction is just one of them, but we need to be asking, are there unintended consequences? What are the possibility consequences to us adopting this AI to do A, B, and C? Could it be biased? Could it be this? Could it be that? We need to really be more rigorous about this. So here's my last bit to do is so there's the advantages and disadvantages. Now the last bit I'm going to do is applying AI to parts of a marketing plan. So let's have a look at that. So those of you who are not familiar with a marketing plan from SOSTAC, at 10 o'clock, start with situation analysis, where are we now, objectives, where we're going, strategy, how do we get there, the smallest piece of the plan. Tactics, the details of strategy, the marketing mix. Actions, talking about internal marketing, how to ensure excellent execution of the tactics. And control is, how do we know we're getting there? So what metrics and measurements do we use to ensure we're not going off the rails, to put it politely? So there's a 3-minute video that explains that on sostac.org, which you can see in your own time. There's also the course to become a SOSTAC certified planner on there. So you can look at those in your own time. What I'm going to do is whiz through some of the steps here. So take situation analysis, where we classically look at, where are you now? Look at customer analysis, competitor analysis, company analysis, and all that good stuff. There is a few little AIs I'll just mention in passing here. I came across this one called AskPot, AskPot.ai, and it does a landing page analysis of your own landing page on your website, and then it can do a table and compare you to all your competitors, right through to the net value proposition, through to all sorts of really useful stuff. But your own company analysis and your competitor analysis in one are part of it. Consensus.ai and worldview.ai are really useful for looking at situations in marketplaces. So you can look at those in your own time. But I'm going to skip objectives and move on to strategy. How do we get there? The work I was doing recently with product portfolio strategy, I was really surprised. I could do an Ansoff matrix, I could do a GE matrix, I could do a Boston Consulting Group matrix. Any of those could be done with generative pre-trained AI, and that seemed to work quite well. I mean, the more prompts you put into it, the better it is. Single product strategy is one that worked by applying an acronym we've developed called Top Seed, and we can tell you more about that as those who attend the workshops. But there's no doubt about it that for every stage of new product development, from ideation, product ideation, just ideas, generating ideas, random ideas as well, can be done with AI. And equally, we can do every step of a product through to testing and control with AI. Now, move on to tactics, the details of strategy. So we're looking here at, can AI help us understand customer needs? Really great if it can, hidden needs, insights we didn't know about, and maybe help us develop some products. Here's a simple example of a company I did some work with recently. They're a huge telesales company. They built the AI in there, and instantaneously, they record and translate the conversations they have on the telephone, tens of thousands of these happening at the same time. And they put it into real language from which the large language models can go through it, sift through it. And they've discovered, as you can see on screen, the word cruises was being used, yet they didn't have a product called cruises. So they decided to put cruises in there, and it's taken off as a new product just from listening to customers and analyzing it with AI. Equally, they can give real live feed to each individual telephone operator, telling them what's working, what's not, what the issue with this particular customer is, and how they can help them. So really clever stuff with customer development and customer relations, and right through to generating ideas and evaluation of products. Powerful stuff with AI, no doubt about it. The big one that you're probably most used to is tactics. And that's promotional and communications. Well, advertising, I know a guy in London, and I've put him in my latest book, where he generates thousands of ads, puts them out there, AI generated ads, and then they select the ones that are working, delete the rest. So they're like SEO, they're optimizing their ads that are AI driven. With social media, a little story I have for you of my own experience using AI for social media. We did a countdown to a press launch recently, and it worked beautifully with AI. So we were launching this book called Super Grid Super Solution by a very good friend of mine, Eddie O'Connor, Dr. Eddie O'Connor, sadly passed away just 10 days ago. Tragic. But anyways, the show goes on. We did an event in Dublin in Trinity College, And the brief I gave to ChatGPT was simply, give me a countdown to press launch with 10 social media posts. I mean, we gave them the background and to the product and the market we're in. And it generated in seconds 10 posts that we could put out in the build up to that event for social media to build up. And we got a full house each time. Other comms and promotion stuff that's out there are bots, lots of bots, websites. Here's my own little one. It's pretty crude, only costs 50 quid a month. So it doesn't break the bank to set that up. Did it in about half an hour. But he'll answer questions to you. You can have a play with him on PRSmith.org. The biggest ones that we see, though, are in sales lead generative bots. So those are the ones that meet a visitor, greet them in a friendly way, help them. It's all about helping them find the information they need, book an appointment with a salesperson, and bingo, sales are going through the roof. CRM is another massive area for bots to help out, and event bots. Now, this one might might kind of catch your fancy. The question I have is Owana, are you real today, or is that a virtual avatar that's walking around greeting people? How would you know? And I put it to you that maybe you wouldn't know, because have a look at this avatar. This is Ada. Now, she's an AI-driven art bot, actually, chatbot, art bot. She talks about art and the importance of art. And she even painted a picture for the Queen, that she created that painting for the Queen. Now, if you want to go and see her TED Talk, again, if you can just click on these and they'll take you to her information. There was a ripple of polite applause when she finished her talk. It was a robot, for God's sake, talking to them, but there's still applause for it. So we're going to see more of those greeting you in airports and wherever else. Moving on in SOSTAC to the actions. That's how do you ensure excellent execution of those tactics. And this is how. Remember this. Say you're being clever and you're doing ideation with AI. You've got lots of new product ideas. You've got a flood of ideas. Well, many of them will fail, and this is why. So this is the Harvard Business Review last year kind of did this study, and it said, a lot of companies simply can't accept novel ideas. They don't have processes. They've no way of evaluating ideas. They can't translate the ideas into coherent designs and so on. So the devil in the detail. What we're saying is, with the actions, is internal marketing. So training, motivation, and communications. You've got to train your teams and prepare them for what's coming with AI. Alibaba, 10,000 staff, every one of them is trained in AI at some level. We need to get up to that speed very soon. Okay, I'm going to finish now with control. This video is shocking. I'm not going to show it to you. You can look at it in your own time. I find it shocking to look at. Just click on the PDF when you get it, and you can make your own decision about it. So will we spin out of control, like solving world hunger? Will things go completely wrong? Are the products safe? Well, I'm afraid the proof is no, they haven't been safe. With social media, they have not been safe for the vulnerable people that suffer from depression. And we're seeing it now with AI. They're not safe either. We really need an awful lot more safe. Would you launch a car if it wasn't safety checked? No, you wouldn't. But with AI, you do, or we do. And equally with social media, we did. So problems there. Equally, if you're using AI like GPT, it can hallucinate. So be careful. You're out of control. You need to double check it and check the sightings. Bias, find out what data has been trained on. Unintended consequences, not just at the end of the world, but, does it have side impacts? Think about it. Be more rigorous in our thinking, and watch out for IP infringement and privacy infringement. Copyright infringement and privacy infringement, two big ones. And be accountable and transparent. Don't be hiding everything behind a wall. Remember, the EU AI Act is here. Digital Services Act is here, as is Digital Markets Act. So there's a lot of people that have invested interest coming after you and your AI if you don't move cautiously. So double check the safety. I'm going to finish with a frightening one, which is you'll be disturbed if you watch this. But this happened like when Donald Trump got into power. This is 2016. I wrote about it in 2018. It's how the world will be manipulated through fake stuff, and multiplied that by AI. We've got a big problem on our hands. That is a chilling piece I wrote. I don't want to end on a unhappy note like that, but I am. It's time to stop. So I'm going to stop now and just say, look, there's a SOSTAC plan. Where you're now, situation analysis, objectives, where you're going, strategy, how do you get there, tactics, the marketing mix, the details of strategy, and actions, internal marketing. How do you ensure excellent execution? And control, how do you know we're getting there? It's simple, it works. The 2024 SOSTAC book won't be out till the end of the month, but certainly you can go online and become a SOSTAC certified planner immediately and get your cert should you want to do that. Now, on SOSTAC.org, I am pleased to say, Wana, you mentioned I'll be over in Bucharest, or we'll be doing the online version, should I say, 13th to 14th of February. So if you click on this, it will take you to the link And also you can become a SOSTAC certified planner through the Institute of Marketing in Romania. So if you click on that, it'll take you into more information. 3 things to think about as I say goodbye to you is this. Join me on any Friday at 1 o'clock UK time on LinkedIn. We have a chat for half an hour about cutting edge AI, and I'm proud of it. It's good stuff with 3 other friends. Watch out for some of those blogs. They're quite powerful, and do become a SOSTAC certified planner. Now, if you click on that, it will take you through the Institute of Marketing. So please click on that one so we know it's coming from yourselves and Wala. I'm going to stop there and say, guys, I'm sorry I've gone over time by a few minutes. I apologize for that. I know you've had a long morning and you haven't had lunch yet. You need to get some food and drink and have a very happy Saturday. So I wish you all very well. Juana, back to you, and we'll see you hopefully in February.
Thank you, Paul, and we'll celebrate here with you in mind the curiosity, the generosity, and we understand that some things need time. Learning is one of that, so we'll try to buy ourselves time and take it step by step through your SOSTAC and energize our plans for this year with so many ideas. Thank you so much, Paul.
All right, bye-bye, folks. Great seeing you. Bye-bye.